Hello class, my name is Jose Francisco Treviño Gallegos and I'm going to talk about the Rough Riders. In 1898, the USA entered a battle with Spain inside their island colonies around Asia and America. This war was called the Spanish-American War and was fought in Puerto Rico, Cuba, Philippines, and Guam, which belonged to Spain. The conflict started with the attack of Spain against the American Navy ship, the USS Maine, placed in Cuba as a diplomatic help to the Cuban cause against Spain and bad governmental management from Spain to their last colonies. The sink of the USS Maine was enough for the President William McKinley to declare war against Spain. The war lasted 3 months, which ended in the American victory and the acquisition of the islands as their colonies. The Spanish American War gave birth to several American heroes and legends. The first United States Volunteer Cavalry, led by the Assistant Secretary of the Navy and future President of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt, and by the Colonel Leonard Wood. The cavalry was a voluntary army, meaning that every member was there because of their own will. The 10th Regular Cavalry was mainly constructed by African American soldiers led by John J. Pershing. The Colonel Leonard Wood is the main head of the Rough Riders. His experience made him the perfect leader for the cavalry, but the cavalry was just a name. In the actual battle, the Rough Riders had to fight as an infantry because their horses weren't shipped to the Cuban island. Theodore Roosevelt became the second in command and main recruiter for the cavalry. Roosevelt was a key piece of the Rough Riders due to his imponent figure and his political position. His political influence guaranteed the usage of proper equipment such as the Springfield carbines, Bowie knives, and the invention of the machine gun. As any American military division, they had their own uniform to represent them. This uniform used blue flannel, brown trousers, leggings, and boots with a handkerchief around the neck, just like any other cowboy. The recruitment of the Rough Riders was volunteer and focused on certain areas with similar weather as the one in Cuba. Recruitment offices were in Indian Territory, Texas, Montana, and New Mexico, places with hot weather most of the time. A variety of people volunteered for the cavalry, including from ranchers, pony explorers, cops, cowboys, even American football players. This variety built the character of the Rough Riders. It represents a manly American who would do anything for their countries in their times of need. Important battles took place in Cuba. The Battle of Las Guasimas was the first important battle for the Rough Riders where most of their equipment was limited. Leonard Wood got lost in the battle. The lead of Theodore Roosevelt granted a victory in the battle even though the disadvantage. After this, Roosevelt was ascended to colonel. The next battle was the Battle of San Juan Hill, and it's a decisive victory for the American side against the Spanish military. The assistance of the Buffalo Soldiers led by John Pershing was crucial for the victory at San Juan Hill, even with disadvantage from the American soldiers even though the disadvantage was there for the American soldiers due to their placement. The fort of San Juan was not placed properly for a battle. Spain had difficulties in the fort of San Juan because it was not placed properly for a battle. The last battle was in the siege of Santiago, where the American Navy, Rough Riders, and the Buffalo Soldiers destroyed the Spaniard defense. The Spanish-American War ended with the American victory taking the last maritime colonies of Spain. When the U.S. declared war to the Central Powers in 1917, the U.S. Congress gave Theodore Roosevelt permission to reorganize 4 divisions of the Rough Riders for World War I. He picked 18 different commanders and new volunteers joined the division, but within a couple months, President Woodrow Wilson decided to not include the cavalry in battle, and Roosevelt disbanded the unit. And this was the heroic history of the Rough Riders.